What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting live stream show. Gonna be getting into this Wednesday slate, y'all. We got 9 games to choose from here. I've already got some bets in. It's probably a crazier injury report than it was yesterday. I'm gonna kick this off by just sharing that honestly with y'all and see what's good. But waiting for some of you guys to get in the chat. Got the usuals here. What's good? Got yo. Sam Marshall, and Diego. What's good, bro? And Azanya's in here for sure. Always good to have y'all in here, man. Already coming in with some bets here from Azanya. Let's see. Jordan Poole assist favorite play with Tyus out. He has been getting on ball usage. And at the moment, the line is only 6.5. Let me throw Jordan Poole on there. Reminder to jump in there and get some bets in the comments. And then I'll go over that stuff with you. Up next, some stuff that we're going to be looking at here. I have a couple things I want to look at. So I'm going to throw Azanya's in here as well, so I can get his Jordan Poole bet in here. We can see Poole assists and what we want to do with that. Like you can see here, as I put it up, we got Mobley boards, Jared Allen, PRA against that Suns team for Cleveland. D'Lo points and assists I want to look at. Nurkic points, rebounds I want to look at. And now we got Jay Poole in there as well. Wait for a few more people to come in. What's good, Mr. Mechanical in here? Cade is definitely a bet. Like, his prop is dumb high for a good reason. I'll throw Cade on here in that Atlanta-Detroit game. We got to expect points to come in that one, right? So let me get Cade in here. We'll talk about his points. And Sam wants to talk about points in the first quarter. 2+ in the last 10 out of 11. You got first 2+ points or assists, Sam? Let me know what you're talking about there with Cade. But I'm going to add his points, and we'll talk about the first quarter. And we can see if that makes some sense, because 25.5 is super high as well, to be honest with you. Some stuff I already got played as well. Some bets I put in are at the bottom. Michael Dean wants to talk about Porzingis points. We'll look at that as well here. Do I have any other Boston OKC bets? Not yet on the card that we're pulling up. So I'll put up KP first quarter points. First quarter points get real specific, but there's some good places to look for that stuff. Donovan Mitchell props. Is he for sure playing? Do we know that? That's one of the things I want to know. I'll bring up my screen and share it so we can look at that injury report together as well. But I'll put Donnie Mitchell in here just kind of next to the other Cleveland guys for a minute and see what's up with that. Obviously, he didn't play last night. I'll just put Mitchell points in here for a sec, and we'll put that on the upcoming stuff that we're going to look at here in a second. Got a couple other. Jared Allen is on there for sure. I see you, Diego. We're going to talk about Jared Allen under 10.5 boards. Second leg of a back-to-back, averaging 13 rebound chances over the last 4. Mobley back to full minutes. I wanted to fade Mobley originally, and now I'm kind of like, damn, maybe we need to back Mobley with the amount of minutes that he might be getting as he keeps going up. I've been talking to a couple people this morning about that stuff already, and this afternoon trying to figure out what to do with Jared Allen and mostly with Evan Mobley, to be honest with you. So we'll take a look at that. These dudes are coming up on the card next. A couple more in here. Sam's talking about assists for Cade. Yeah, that's what I figured, Sam. So I'll change that for you right now. We'll talk about Cade assists in the first quarter. That's what I figured. A couple more that we have in here. So Mitchell's been removed from the injury report. Good stuff. Appreciate you, NBA. It has always been removed from the injury report ahead of Wednesday's game in Phoenix. That's the latest report. So that's good news for us to have here for Donnie Mitchell, knowing that he's in. Definitely look at some potential unders for some people. Not going back to Karis LeVert's points and assists. I'll tell you that. Not right now. We can talk about Middleton. We should talk about that Bucks game. Middleton seems like he's back on full everything at this point. That Bucks and Memphis game now, after they lost to the Wizards last night. You probably all saw that. That was where the Discord would have come in handy, because I bet Giannis over 29.5 points at the half. He had 11 points at the half, and I was like, great. He's going to get like 35. He's just going to put his head down and go the rest of this game without Dame. So let's look at Bucks props if we want, but I'm going to tell you right now that I am not sure what to do with the Bucks. I will say let's not panic about them in general, but we'll see what's up. What's good, DB and G-Bag? Gang, bro. We got Cade. Yeah, Cade he's still questionable. His props are super high, Ray Harris. So we'll see if he's actually going to play. But let me get into some of these things that I'm talking about here on the upcoming card. Like I said, jump in the comments as always. You got that stuff at the bottom that's got Wednesday's card on it. I'm going to kick it off with D'Lo just because I want to show you what I'm looking at, since we do know that I made a video last night. Hopefully, if you're subscribed to the page, you know that the show comes out night before. I take a look at everything I can and get in depth with as many games as I can and put as many plays out as I can early. Only had like one real play last night that I played early. That was Paolo Banchero over rebounds and assists, mostly because I thought that wasn't going to stay at 11.5, and I'm pretty sure that's at 12.5 now. That's scrolling on the bottom as well, so y'all can see the updated bets. The other one I put in was D'Lo, and here's what I was looking at last night real quick. What I was looking at for D'Lo last night was the assists, if with the understanding that, or at least the projection that LeBron wasn't going to play. LeBron and AD are going to play because they didn't even have to play the fourth quarter last night. So with them being able to sit in that whole fourth quarter, they're both a go, which means things change a little bit for D'Lo. So let me pull up my screen here and present some stuff real quick so I can show you what I'm looking at for D'Lo. Because for D'Lo, what came about for me was, okay, LeBron's in, we're on a back-to-back. Those are the two most useful pieces of information that I'm using here to make my bet with D'Lo. So adding this to the stage so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to go to that LA game real quick on props.cash. Always love to start here. It's a really easy layout for me to look at, so I love it. For D'Lo, the points are definitely a good bet here. As you can see, also take this with a grain of salt. When you're on props.cash, you can see they have projections of their own right here as well for these players and their different props, right? So they're fine. I haven't really seen any correlation between these being like great or not great, to be honest with you. But it's at least helpful to understand what their raw numbers pulled together are modeling for us to see that this is the projected difference that they have, right? That doesn't mean that's what I have. So for D'Lo, the points, I do actually think that he's at about 20. So I think their projection is pretty correct here. I really like the points. The thing about the assists and adding them, okay, they're up to 6.5 now. So the PA is probably 24.5. I got this at 23.5. There's definitely still some hanging around. I probably got a better price than whatever's left for these for this D'Lo prop here. So keep that in mind as you look at it. You don't want to take too bad of a number on D'Lo, but it did go up a bit, and it might even be worth it to just take the points at this point, right? So what I'm looking at with D'Lo is a couple things. Let me pull up StatMuse, because that is, while you can see all this stuff that I'm about to pull up on StatMuse on props.cash, it's really helpful to be able to see things with and without right next to each other, right? So let's do D'Angelo Russell on no rest this season with LeBron James, right? So we got a pretty specific scenario here where they're on no rest after their really big win against Toronto last night. And we look at no rest this season with LBJ playing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, right? So in those 8 games, he's averaging 20 and 6 assists, which gets us nicely over the points and assists. Still at 23.5, it's a lot better, but it's still good at 24.5. The thing about the points is, you got averaging 20.4 in these situations where he's at a 17.5 point prop right now. So that's a pretty nice difference right there to get you over on the points without the assists. The thing too for me is LeBron going to play that much in this game? My prediction and projection would be that this team looks to just blow out this awful let's call them awful Wizards team. They've got the 7th best defensive rating over the course of the last 5 games, but they've also played all cupcake squads over their last 5. So do with that what you will. But with there's a couple of things here. No rest with LeBron James against this Wizards squad. LeBron looking to probably get out early. Maybe even a first half bet on the Lake Show isn't bad because they just want to sit their dudes in the fourth quarter. When they sit those dudes in the fourth quarter, though, D'Lo stays in the game, right? I'm going to pull up real quick D'Lo in wins by 15 plus, right? He's still getting over this number very consistently this season. In fact, 8 of the 11 games that he's played where this team won by 15, he's gone over this number, right? And just in the points, for the points and assists, it's actually even more, right? It's 10 out of 11 that he's done this. If that's what we're projecting here, then it doesn't really matter because his minutes still stay high. 32 minutes per game for D'Lo when they win by 15 plus. What about LeBron? When LeBron plays in a game where they win by 15 plus points, he's at about a 50% rate for his numbers tonight, right? For both points and assists. So what that tells me is like his numbers right here, 28 minutes per game when they win by 15 plus. If I take that off on the season, he's at 35 minutes a game. So 7 minutes fewer for LeBron in the games that this team wins by 15 plus points, which is maybe what's going to happen tonight. It's a 12.5 point spread. So it's not that out of the realm of possibility that this team wins by 15. I'm probably betting Lakers. At least I would be before I'm betting on this Wizards squad, right? So with that in mind, D'Lo is a little bit what we call like blowout proof in the sense that he's still going to play at the end of games if they are blowing this team out. So we got D'Lo playing in blowouts still and being the main facilitator on the floor, which is why I like adding these assists. Because if we look at the assists for D'Lo in games where they win by 15 plus points, right, still hitting at 7 out of 11 clip on a pretty high number for him, right? 6.5 is a very high number, and it's really good juice. I'm taking the points and assists and so on, which I already told you. Like I said, I love these numbers where they win by 15. If we look at on no rest as well, I'm going to take 0 days rest as a filter. right? We can see 8 out of 11 here as well. And if we put this with LeBron James, it's still going to look fine. LeBron James, right, with LeBron in 8 of these games, still going over in 6 of 8 on the points and assists. So you put them together, there's a bit of safety that comes with that because of the fact that if this game is somehow weirdly close, then he's going to be more of a scorer coming off of LeBron or an assister. He could do both in that situation. If this game is not close, he becomes the point guard, and the assists really help us out because he continues to get a lot of dimes in the games where they win by a lot and on 0 days rest, which there's some correlation to LeBron not playing as much and them being on 0 days rest, right? The other thing about this Lakers squad and why you can bank on them wanting to win this one early and get out of here is because if you look at this advanced schedule, the advanced hashtag basketball, which shows you like the scheduling, which is really helpful. Description in the link is in the description of the video. I love this layout for being able to see who plays when, right? So first of all, we can see all the back-to-back games because we can just select Tuesday and Wednesday, and now we're only looking at the teams playing back-to-back, so we don't have to like go into it and find it a different way. This is super, super helpful. The other thing that helps me see is just every team's schedule coming up because I want to know who the Lakers are going to be playing. Right now, they're playing 2 of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst 2 teams in the league. Next, they've got Cleveland, Minnesota, and the Dubs at home. 3 of 4 games, 3 and 4 nights rather, right? So you can look ahead and say the Lakers need to sit LeBron. So all this stuff, or they need him rested if they want to win these games at the end of the season. And if we pull up these standings on ESPN.com for the NBA, we know that the Lakers are 9th. They're only a game and a half up on the Dubs. They could technically catch the Suns and get and avoid having to play 2 games to get into the playoffs. So they're looking to get wins, right? So they're looking to get LeBron rest just as much as that, and this is a situation to do it. So all that leads me to go, I love D'Angelo Russell to get his in this one. I would still take the 24.5 points and assists because you can get even money on it. But if you're taking the 23.5 for bad juice, I'm fine with that as well. I've got that bet scrolling on the bottom already for a full unit. I got it at minus 110 on MGM this morning on the points and assists. So that's the play for D'Lo right there. And the other one is just the Paolo rebounds and assists, which I can just bring up the stuff from last night real quick. That's the other bet. And then I'll jump in here and make sure that I'm checking out what you guys are talking about as well to make sure I don't miss any of y'all's bets. Paolo over, and the reason for that being, we just saw him do this against the Pellies. The rebounds and assists specifically, he had a ton of dimes. He had 19 potential assists. The Pellies are going to lock you up top and not allow the ball handler in the pick and roll to do stuff. And Markelle Fultz is not the point guard anymore. Like, make no mistake, Paolo Banchero is the point guard of this team now. He runs the most pick and roll as the ball handler. He's got the most potential assists on the team. They're up to about 11.5 this month, as we've seen Markelle Fultz average like 17 minutes in this month. And really, that's actually a little bit inflated because he's played more minutes before he was right when he came back from injury. And then they just seem to bench him. So no more Markelle Fultz means no more real point guard for this Orlando Magic team, which makes you feel good about Paolo to get the assists and the rebounds in a game that I think is going to be pretty choppy and slow between these two really slow-paced teams that both play very similar styles of play. We just saw them play a really ugly under game as well in their last matchup where the Magic won as Brandon Ingram got hurt in that one. So I'm riding with Paolo on this one. All right, let me get to a couple of the bets that I know we are that we have up here on the up next stuff, right? So going back to my screen share here, the Evan Mobley stuff is a really interesting thing for me. I was really looking to, like, he caught my eye at 8.5 rebounds because this Phoenix Suns team has been really good at rebounding. We go to this Cleveland Phoenix game and pull up Evan Mobley. And I know some of y'all want to fade Jared Allen tonight too. And I think that might be the play because I was originally thinking maybe this is a good fade of Evan Mobley. 8.5 rebounds feels like a lot. And this is still on 0 days rest. This is going to be helpful. There's a couple of things that are working towards me going, nah, I can't take the under in the Mobley stuff. One is Isaac Okoro is out, which means that we're probably looking at Evan Mobley spending the majority of his time guarding Kevin Durant, right? In fact, I'm going to see if that matchup happened by going to the NBA Advanced Stats page. I'm going to go to the box score between these two teams the last time that they played, which has been once this season, I want to say. So let me go to box score for the Suns right quick and then filter this to just be versus the Cleveland Cavaliers to see who was Evan Mobley guarding the last time they played. So I'm going to hit get stats and pull up, and I'm going to change this music right quick. So we got to listen to the same thing over and over. All right, pulling up this box score right here for the Suns and Cavs. Box score, I'm going to go to matchups inside here. This is crucial for seeing one-on-one matchups. I know team defense versus positions is helpful, but not as helpful. Sometimes it's just who is this dude going to be guarding, and when it's someone real nice on defense and whatever. So the other way we're going to use this is we're going to look at defender, and we're going to make it. Oh, he didn't play this year, so I got to go to last year's game and see who he guarded. I'm assuming it was KD. Either way, like with if you look at the lineup right now for this Cleveland Cavs team, which I'll go to, and I'll just look at their depth real quick. Right, like Isaac Okoro being out, who else is going to be guarding KD? Out of these, like, who is the best defender to guard KD? Obviously, it's Evan Mobley, who's the best defender on the floor, at least versatility-wise, as Jared Allen's going to be down low banging with Nurkic, right? So for Evan Mobley to be playing against Kevin Durant, we know that he's going to get minutes. And that's the first thing that caught my eye was like, hold up, 8.5 rebounds. He has only done this once since he came back from injury. If you can see right here, and hopefully y'all can't see and it's blown up enough, he came back on the 24th, which was 6 games ago. In those 6 games, he's averaging 6.5 boards, and he spiked at 11, right? He hit over the 8.5 once in these last 6 games since he came back from injury. If you look at the minutes in the last 6, in fact, let's just pull it up here on StatMuse so I can just show it to you easy. Evan Mobley, last 6 games. So if we look at his stuff over the last 6, he's only at 6.5 boards. He's averaging 28 minutes per game, right? That makes you immediately just want to go. And this is the sort of one of the main points too, which is like, don't just be looking at these recent games and going, he didn't do it that much recently. He must be on a cold streak. Let me keep going under. There's going to be underlying reasons for this stuff. And the reasons for this stuff is that he's only playing 28 minutes. But if you look at the previous 38 games, he's playing way more minutes. So let's do Evan Mobley. And I happen to know this from earlier, but first 38 games this season. Right. So compare the 28 minutes and 7.5 and 6.5 rebounds to the first 38 games of the season, as opposed to the last 6. In the first 38 that he played, he was at 10.2 rebounds. Right. And he was playing 31.1 minutes. So you can't really just project his minutes at 28 or the way that he's been getting that amount recently. You got to look at the season long stuff and go, no, he's going to be playing. So I can't confidently take an under on his rebounds, when the other thing you look at for this dude is if you go to his rebound chances, which we also look at here on an NBA advanced stats, right? I'll pull that up and I'll go to players so I can see his rebound chances by going to players and tracking data should be available for him as of late. So I'm going to do rebounding, and I'm going to filter this to the Cleveland Cavs, and I'm going to do the last 6 games where Mobley's played all 6 of these games, right? In these last 6 games, if I just look at that and I go, since he came back from injury, he's only got 11.7 rebound chances and 6.5 rebounds. If I just look at that, then I really like an under for 8.5 boards, right? However, that's not even close to what it was for the first 38 games of the season. So let me go all seasons, and I'm going to cap this to the right before he got hurt, right? So I'm going to say the last day that they should be taking into consideration is the 5th of March before he got hurt. Now, he played 38 games in this time frame. I believe you can see that right here. Evan Mobley, 38 games. If you look at the rebound chances then, the first 38, he's at 16.6 rebound chances, 10.2 boards. That's way more accurate. The only reason he hasn't been playing minutes and getting rebound chances over the last 6 is because of the fact that he was hurt, right? So he's come back. If anything, like, I'm leaning over because those numbers on the normal really scream for an over in this one, not an under. So I'm going to pass on Mobley, but I'm going to look at Jared Allen real quick as well. So let me get into that with y'all real quick. I want to look at the comments for a second as well. Appreciate y'all jumping in. Yeah, we're going to get to that pool one because I know it might be moving in the wrong direction for you, but I'm glad you shared it with some people. It's definitely a good look to keep in mind. What's good, Yehoshua? D'Lo rebounds. That might be sneaky. Okay, I see you, DB. Yeah, pool assists we're going to look at in a minute. What's good, Free Sauce? Good to have you here, bro. D'Angelo's, well, yeah. If you're talking about LeBron over here, yeah. I mean, he might. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see about Poole either way. I'll keep rolling with that game. Let me keep rolling through these. I appreciate y'all jumping in the comments, man, and talking to each other as well. Like, sharing information knowledge is king, right? So let me keep up with the Jared Allen stuff, because Jared Allen might be a legit under here. So I know my boy Nate on thelines.com is looking at an under here. I trust Nate a lot. Obviously, he's been my co-host and homie for a minute. But for Jared Allen, we see his props a lot lower, right? We've seen these at like 20.5 at times. Right now, he's been going over hella. He's still playing a little bit like Hakeem Olajuwon at one point in his career. So if we look at the recent numbers for Jay Allen, the stuff would indicate that when he plays in this situation on no rest, he usually goes under. So that's the other thing about this Evan Mobley bet, is because of those young legs. Look, Jared Allen's hella young. He's actually probably younger than most of us realize. I think he's like 27 or 28, which is crazy because it feels like he's been around for decades. But Evan Mobley on no rest this season. I'm gonna compare it to to Jared Allen in a second. So I know rest of the season, he's up at 31.5 minutes, 17 points, and 11 rebounds. Another point of emphasis for why I stayed away from an under on Evan Mobley rebounds tonight is because if he is healthy after being back for 6 games at this point, even if it is a back-to-back, the young legs coming in on the no rest, at least younger legs than Jared Allen for sure. But Evan Mobley's like 21, bro. So I'm like, yeah, he better be spry on 2 nights in a row. So compare that to Jared Allen, right? We got 17 and 11 for Evan Mobley in 31.5 minutes. Let's do Jared Allen on no rest this season. It's going to be a lot less. Well, he's still at 31 minutes. He's at 15 points and 8.5 boards. So Jared Allen or Evan Mobley definitely getting the bulk of the stats here when he plays on no rest versus Jared Allen. Now, the Phoenix has been one of the best rebounding teams in the league. That's for damn sure. But let's look at how they do against centers versus power forwards, because Evan Mobley has been the power forward for this team. I do want to show you opponent rebounds. How many of the Suns been given up? Third best on the season in terms of limiting rebounds to their opponent, right? So we know that. Let me pull up courtside pal, which is something we always talk about on here, which is something I always just preach from my freaking basically the gospel of courtside pal, because this is a way almost always a way better metric for gauging player versus player profile versus team defense rather than team defense versus player position, which isn't always accurate. So let's put Jared Allen in here real quick and see how he does against the Phoenix Suns according to his player profile. If we look at points for Allen, we look at where he's shooting from. Okay, not bad against this Phoenix squad, but where he's scoring from, his scoring profile 23rd, right? And where he's scoring from is right around the rim. So it's going to be the same. If we look at the rebound profile for him against Phoenix, dead last, right? So let me see how big of a difference that is between Jared Allen's rebounding versus Phoenix and Evan Mobley's rebounding versus Phoenix. Because if Evan Mobley has a really high likelihood, according to Courtside Pal, of getting boards, if he's normally successful against this kind of team, still no. Phoenix is just, yeah, okay, they're both bad. They probably have the same rebounding. So rebounding R7 for Evan Mobley and R7 for Jared Allen. So that's why you see the same exact numbers for them as they are really similar style players. So we can't really find much of an edge using Courtside Pal here, but we can say the PRA for Jay Allen, they're up at 29.5, which is nice because they were at 28.5. So that means people are actually hitting that over a bit more. If you look at head-to-head, he did do this against them last season. Was Evan Mobley in that game? He was in that game. So, the stuff for Jared Allen, the unders for Jared Allen's a little bit less enticing than it was. Maybe you just like the rebounds at 10.5. But the points dropping, the points being at 15 at the assists. Let me see that real quick. Only 1.5 assists added to it. The points are at 15.5, though. I think if you take that with the rebounds, then you're probably good with the under. If you just leave it at 26 and what's the PRA? 29.5 with 1.5 assists. That can't be right, bro. 1.5 assists does not equal, right? How are we get? So this feels like a great under because 1.5 assists plus 10.5 rebounds, right? That should be 12 plus 15.5 should be 27.5. But this is at 29.5. So this is a great under. Unless this is just wrong. So let me pull up DraftKings real quick just to make sure I go directly to the book and I'm not just seeing things as courtside or props.cash might be lying to me. So if I go to this Cleveland game against Phoenix down here and I look at the player combos for Jay Allen, 29.5 at minus 115, on principle, that's a great bet. Based on their math is off right here. This adds up to 27.5 if you just take their individual props, each of them. The assists, are they at 2.5 on here? And that's what's slow to pick up. Assists for Jared Allen. Doesn't even have those up. Just his assists. Tripping. This book is tripping. Let's take it. Let's go. I mean, I'm taking the under PRA for my guy on this one and moving along for sure. Take Jared Allen unders. His rebound props are probably still going to be pretty high. But like I said, this rebounding team for if he's going up against Nurkic and you've got Mobley going up against KD, then I like Mobley's chances to win that battle more than I like Jared Allen's because at least Nurkic is a big doughy body that can be in the way even if he can't do much the hell else. So I'm putting that here on the bottom. I'm going to update the card here with Jared Allen under. Now that I get it at 29.5, that is a ton of value. Watch him finish at 29. That'll be so sweet. I'm going to take that at minus 115 on DK for a full unit because that is some value, bro. Like just adding those up individually, just simple math. And we got there. I didn't even have to do any of the confusing shit I was talking about yesterday. All right, cool. So we got Mobley and Allen done. I know we want to look at Donnie Mitchell. I do not trust Donovan Mitchell as far as I could throw him, and I probably can't throw him very far. He's still bigger than me, even if he's tiny in the NBA. So we look at Donovan Mitchell, and I know for points for a fact that dude has been going under, right? Like this team was bad with him when he came back, especially these last 4 right here where he actually played, because he's been in and out a couple of times, right? And so here, these games that he actually played, that's terrible, bro, right? Last 5, 14 and a half points, basically 14.2. I don't know how you trust Donovan Mitchell in this game. He's never done it against this team. And that would be from last season, obviously, when they played a couple games in a row against Phoenix. But like, what's to really trust with Donnie Mitchell? I don't know what I'm missing here, but I would not be feeling good about a Donnie Mitchell prop here right now if I was talking about the over. What's good, Monotone, bro? Appreciate you being in here, man. For you, those of y'all don't know, quick shout out to Monotone Football. My dude is very fire with those props. He has a show as well that goes on in the morning time. Definitely suggest you try to give him a follow. Some of y'all probably already follow him, but the Mobley double, yeah, that's what I was looking at. So like I would go over with Mobley before I'll go under. I'm not saying that that's a bad bet at all. If you can get that, like, I wouldn't take it for anything less than like plus 130, to be honest, if you're talking about the double for Mobley. But the 8.5 rebounds, you're probably not getting too much, but the double should be plus 130 or so before you get it. Let me finish up with what I got here for we got Jay Allen on the card. Donnie Mitchell is an under to me before anything. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. If you look at the, like, if we just go on the last 5, the field goal attempts over the last 5, where are we at here? He has taken 9.5 threes. You can't stop him from chucking. Oh, this is this is head to head. So let me go last 5 and look at that, because the minutes here for Donnie, they're down at 32, but he has a 44 spike in there. If you take that one spike out versus Chicago, where did they go to OT? I believe that was an OT game. That's why, yeah, obviously you got 44 minutes in overtime. So that was an outlier there. So if we actually just move this up to being, cap this filter right here at like, let's cap it at 36 even, because that's just the other ones. So now we're talking about 30 minutes a game over his last 5, right? Where he hasn't played that many minutes. And in this one, maybe you see the minutes coming, but I don't. Like, Donnie Mitchell is a straight under. I'll put him in courtside power real quick to see what we got there, if there's anything there. Because I will say, this is going to probably spit out that Donovan Mitchell is the perfect archetype to score against this Phoenix Suns team. I should probably have thought of that before I even opened my mouth, because Donnie Mitchell is going to play up top above the break. That's where this Phoenix team is most vulnerable. As far as where he's shooting from, 20th, where he's scoring from, giving up the 7th most points, right? There's something to that for sure. If we look at I guess against them, if we look at point guard, where Phoenix is weakest, and this is where I can show you props madness, because this dude is love Pips for this, like love him for this. Let's pull up Cleveland and look at Donnie Mitchell real quick. So I'm going to pull up, this is also link in the description of the videos, props madness. It's in beta, but dude is doing a fantastic job to show us what we want to see here. Because what I want to look at right now is how does where is Phoenix most vulnerable, and where is that compared to where Donnie's shooting from, right? So for Donnie Mitchell here, you can see the bulk of his points coming as the PNR ball handler. The Suns ranked 21st against that, limiting points to that play type, right? He's the ball handler in this PNR. You knew that was going to be something. They're also bad at getting back in transition. You can see that's where Donnie Mitchell's getting a ton of points as well, 6.7. So he's already at 15.8 points right here between these two, if he's just getting his averages versus a team that is not good at defending exactly what he wants to do. He does get a ton from the free throw line. They're actually pretty good at defending the free throw line, are the Suns. They do not give up a ton of free throws, so I don't know that that's going to be there for him. He's spotting up a decent amount, but he's also pulling up a ton, which is more in tracking rather than the pull-up stuff is tracking, not. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. If you go to players on NBA Advanced Stats and you go to player tracking, not play type. Everything that we show here on Props Madness is play type, and I'm not besmirching it at all. It's fucking awesome. I use play type actually before I use anything in terms of like a good starting point is like who does well against who doesn't do well in the play type category, right? But if we look at players and we tracking and we pull up shots, right? Am I tripping? Catch and shoot versus pull up shooting, right? Let me filter this to just the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you can see who's getting the most pull-up shots on this team. And unfortunately, we can't look at defense for tracking, but obviously it's Donovan Mitchell. So he's doing way more pull-ups than he's pulling up way off the dribble, way more than he is the catch and shoot stuff, right? And the catch and shoot stuff is all we can get here as far as spot up goes for the play type stuff. Unfortunately, just with the tools that I'm showing you here, I don't have defensive metrics against the pull-up. But we do know that that's what he's gonna be doing a lot more. I'm off the Donovan Mitchell stuff. Let me keep it moving because I'm not there with it, to be honest. for Donnie Mitchell. I'm leaning under before I ever go over with our dude here. So I'm going to move on to, I showed you D'Lo. We can look at Nurk while we're in this game real quick. I've been trying to fade Nurk. I'm just not a fan, bro. Just consistently always looking for the right moment in time to fade Nurkic. If we look at Nurk in the last 5, I mean, the points have not been there for him. And then he had a real nice game in that beatdown that they handed New Orleans the other day for Phoenix. But if you look at Nurk against this squad right here, like, I mean, let's use props madness for a minute. If we pull up Nurkic and you see where he's scoring from against this team, this is a filter I'm gonna use, which is opponent defensive rank versus his points right on the season here. And if we look at this for the defense. Let's take out the bottom defenses here. Let's take out the bottom defenses here and go opponent rank top 15. See how it does against the top 15 at defending his position, right? On the season here, we're looking at a hit rate of only 720 out of 22. Do we have the Cavs on here? Yeah, the Cavs are on here. Only got 9 points against them last time. This prop is currently at, what did we say was that? My bad. 11.5 right here. So you get a lot more juice for the over, but 11.5 goes well under when he plays these teams that are much better at defending his position and where he wants to shoot from. If you look at down low against this Cavs team, I guess, yeah, the player, he's shooting 69%, nice, from down low. That's where he's making all of his shots. If you look at the opposition defense, they're 11. They're giving up the 11th most down low inside of 5 feet. That can't be right. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let me go to the NBA Advanced Stats page one more time real quick just to pull up team opponent shooting and see how good this squad has been in the Cavs in terms of defending the painted area. If we look at the restricted area down low, field goals against. Cleveland's been a little bit more middle of the pack this season, defending down low than anything else for real. Field goals made, though, yeah, they're still pretty close to the top in terms of field goals made. Pretty decent field goal percentage against him. Not much there. I want to fade Nurk. Honestly, I really, really do. He goes under this number so consistently. I think the 11.5 is probably a bit too high for him. Against Cleveland, he has gone over this number just under the other day, over in this last one. But let's put it with all the dudes that we know are going to be taking shots for this team. So is Grayson Allen not going to play in this one? Do we know if he's actually still let me see if anything about Grayson. If anybody knows anything about Grayson Allen, much appreciated, because I would love for him to play and take shots away from Nurkic, to be honest. Is he still? Yeah, he's still questionable according to this. So we don't know for sure. So I'm not going to put, let's just, in worst case scenario, he's out. And now we just got to do it with, put KD in here and Brad Beal and Booker. So when he's playing with the big three, how many times has he gone over this number? 11 of 32, right? And let me do it on Props Madness because this is where it's really helpful to see with all three players. Let me do games with, I'm going to put Brad Beal, Devin Booker, and KD in here. Confirm that. And I'm going to do, this is against the top 15 defenses. So yeah, he was doing it at the beginning of the season. If we look at the field goal attempts per game in this situation too, not as good. So yeah, I think the field goal attempts probably won't be there for him. If we look back at props.cash real quick and we see on the season with all three of these dudes, I mean, let's just do the last 15. 3 out of the 15 that he's gone over. And one was Washington, and the other one here, I can't even see let's do last 10 instead. The other one that he went over was Charlotte. So Charlotte and Washington with the outlier against New Orleans. And now we're talking about a team that is much better at defending down low, top 15 team, even with these three dudes in. If Grayson Allen comes in, let me see if that affects us at all. Because if we do with Grayson Allen, and that gives us even better. No, it's the same shit. It's with these three dudes in. That's crucial. So I think Nurk on the under 11.5, that number is too high for me. Even if he does get like 33-ish minutes, which in these situations, let's see, he's at 27 minutes a game, one outlier at the 36 he played against New Orleans. I do think he'll be in there a bit more to play against this squad here, but head-to-head in this situation last game, he played 29.5 minutes over the last, he played 29.5 minutes in that game. So the 29.5 minutes, 5 field goal attempts to get 12 points, right? Like even if he's at 6 field goal attempts to get 12 points, got to assume there's a miss in there. He's really, okay, he had 6 free throw attempts last game. That's even helped him a ton. Still only got the 9 points. But yeah, I think the points under by itself is a good play for Nurk. So I'm going to go under with our big man here and take him under 11.5. Let's take Nurkic. under 11.5. Yeah, that number is just too high now. So it's just that simple. Let me make sure I'm not tripping on the yeah, it's 11.5. I can get minus 128 still, which I'm fine with for real. Can I get a better? I can get minus 125 on DK and minus 110 on BetMGM, which at least looks like it's accurate finally today. So I'm going to take that on here and put it on the bottom. Take Nurkic under 11.5 points, minus 110 on MGM. Put a full unit on that. We got a couple of full unit plays today, trying to stay confident here, bro, and not just like wane. We finally had a good day yesterday after a couple bad days in a row to start April. Finally had a decent one yesterday. So we'll look to keep that going today. Quick reminder, subscribe to the page, all that, y'all. Just appreciate y'all being in here. Let's see. I want to get a couple more on here. I know I had we want to talk about Jay Poole. I want to make sure I don't miss that. We had KP in the first quarter points, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you all that now, and then I won't go into other stuff right now. Let me pull up the Washington LA game. No, I like D'Lo in there. We're talking about Jordan Poole. What do I have on here for Poole? Assists for Jay Poole. Yeah, it could be. I don't know about. I mean, I understand the logic here for Donnie Mitchell for the first quarter over 4.5 points. I would get that for sure a little bit more than I would for the game, but I would go. I'm honestly like on the under for the game, so I don't know if you'll catch me playing any of those. The first quarter stuff for Donnie Mitchell over. Even though, I mean, if anything, that would be a hella good bet to like get some really good juice on under the game, but over in the first quarter, you probably get hella good stuff for that. For Jordan Poole right here, we were talking about his assists, right? Because that's what we want to see if he's been doing without Tyus. The thing is, he's played without Tyus a lot. He's playing this LA squad who, if we look at props.cashed and pull, or excuse me, if we look at the courtside pal here and we put Jordan Poole in here and see how he does against the Lakers. I will say the Lakers are more susceptible to assists than they are points this season against point guards. I'm pretty sure. If we look at the points for LA, oh no, they give up the 7th most points to his shot profile and the 12th most to scoring profile. If we look at his assists versus this squad, yeah, they're still giving up hella assists to point guards. This might be a good look. Let me see what his potential assists have been at. If we look at potential, which shout out props.cash, we're putting this on potential assists on here. 9.2 is kind of scary, right? What do we say he was at here? We at 4.5 or 6.5 plus money 6.5. You can't really get 5.5 anywhere else at this point. Plus 104 is not bad, but that's a lot of assists for someone who's only gone over twice. Even if we take Tyus Jones out, I mean, he's been missing games, right? So if we take Tyus out, I mean, it's even worse. What do we got here? Without Tyus Jones, assists. Did I change anything else? Just without Tyus Jones. Oh, and this is head-to-head. My bad. So if we look at without Tyus in the last 10. All right, a little bit better because he played like a game in here somewhere. Not even. So we look at the last 10 without Tyus Jones. What happens if I take this out? Okay, I was tripping because I had this on the wrong. Okay, I had a filter on that was messing us up. This looks a lot better, obviously. So this is the last 10. He's been balling the last 5, 14 potential assists to get 7 assists. Let me look at, so he's got the potentials here. If we look at the potentials, we're talking about 18 turning into 13 assists against Milwaukee. They're terrible against point guards. 14 turning into 8 against Miami. And then Detroit and Brooklyn were some bad games for him assist-wise. And Chicago was 15, but only got 5 of them, right? Chicago, much better defense than the other ones we've been talking about here. But Miami, definitely good. This Lakers D has not been great. If we look at, let's look at point guards over the using the courtside pal. We know he gets a lot of assists according to his playmaking profile. If we use Fantasy Pros, recommend that always as well. For this is position versus team defense. If we look at assists for point guards against the Lake Show, they are giving up the 4th most on the season. He's a pretty good look. The assists here in the last 5. Let's see, 36 minutes a game. So it is all per 36 anyway, right? So if we expect him to play another 36 in this one, the blowout factor is there. Does that really matter, though? Like in the last 15, when this team's losing by, let's see, a loss by 15 plus points, then yeah, in the last 15, when they lose by 15 or more, his minutes are down to 25.9, as opposed to in the last 10 overall, right? If you look at the last 10 overall, he's up at 33 minutes. Like we said, the last 5, he's up to 36 minutes. But if you put in lose by 15 plus, then he does not play as much, right? If we do this with 10 plus, little bit better, still at 29 minutes, not quite the 36.5. So the blowout factor would screw us over for Jordan Poole. You always want to look at like what happens in blowout games either way for this team, because when it's bad, then dudes are going to sit, right? So I think that might be the under there. Yeah, we got to look. That's a really good point about this game, is that there's a couple of revenge factor narratives as we look at Kuz. How's Kuz done against this squad? I think he is going to play. Head-to-head, he's played them once, right? And that was a loss by 10 plus points, my bad. So head-to-head, he's played them 3 times, including that game earlier on 229 where he scored 20. So it's pretty high for him, to be honest with you. If we look at the reverse, I actually like it the other way a little bit better in terms of Dinwiddie. We don't have him. I should have gave that out yesterday at 5.5 points for Dinwiddie. That was kind of easy money. I think he had that in the first quarter, but I missed out on that one. Either way, for both those dudes, like I'm not going to just use revenge narrative unless it's like a really good matchup for them. The Poole assist really does now interest me, because you've got Jordan Poole at 6.5. He's been getting the minutes. The blowout is there. The possibility is there, though, in which case we see that he does not do this, and he has the opportunity to make us look really, really stupid if we don't get it. So head-to-head to the last 10 for Jay Poole. The points and assists, too, so you don't have to guess quite as much, might be a play. 24.5 there. That might be the better play, to be honest. Like, if you look at these last bunch of games, and let me make sure Tyus Jones is out of this once again. We take Tyus Jones out, and we just got Jay Poole here. The points and assists actually was better with yeah. So actually, you want Tyus in there, to be honest, and he's missed a bunch of games. You want Tyus in there so that there's somebody else to get Poole open, essentially. Yeah, I don't know if I can ride with Jay Poole. If anything, the assists I might hit for the plus money at plus 104. This is with Tyus Jones. Come on, bro. Without Tyus Jones, stupid. Maybe that's why I was messed up. Yeah, the points and assists are still there without Tyus. Which one do I want to hit? Because I do want to hit one of these now. I get plus 104 for the assists alone, minus 122 when I add the points, and I can get minus 120 or minus 113 on Caesars, which I can get to. So the points and assists might be the better play. I do like points in this game. I think the total has gone up a little bit. If we look at the total here, it's open at 234. I hit it at 234.5, and it's gone up to 236.5. Looks like Caesars might be hanging 234. There was some discrepancy in this game, and like I do think that this is a leaning to an over. So I think the points and assists might be a good play, because to be honest, the Lakers go over and they don't cover in these situations on no rest. They're 4-9 against the spread on no rest, and they are go over 9 out of 12 games on no rest, pushed on one of them. So I think Jordan Poole is actually a pretty good look here. God bless, he made me look so dumb a couple times, but I am going to take that. Let me see one more thing. If we look at let's look at the play type real quick. If I pull him up on Props Madness real quick, and I go to LA Washington, and I pull up this also for those, a couple people new in the stream. I know if you look at Props Madness, link is in the description of the video. Really, really, really helpful tool to make sure that you can see all this really awesome information in one place. So I'm gonna pull up Jay Poole and see that, yes, he is the pick and roll ball handler. And yes, that is a good matchup against the Lakers, rather, who give up the 8th most, right? They're 23rd ranked against the PNR ball handler. They are terrible getting back in transition, which that Jordan Poole wants to push the pace. He does get spot ups, but the spot ups are not going to be there without Tyus Jones quite as much. That would be my guess. And he might be coming off the screen a little bit less, but the Lakers are the worst team at limiting dudes who come off a screen, as you can see here on Props Madness, and get their shot off. So if he does that, or the dribble handoff, these are all things that I think everything he wants to do is really good, right, against him. So points and assists, I think, is a good bet for Jay Poole. With the minus 113 on Caesars, I'm going to hit that and feel pretty good about it. I like the look for the points and assists, but I'm going to add, or the assists that were brought up, but I'm going to just add the points and assists as well. So we're going to take we're going to take Poole over 24.5 PA. Going to get that for minus 113 on Caesar. I'm going to take that for 0.5 U and save that. All the updated card in full is here scrolling on the bottom. You also make sure you check that out. Definitely also, as it says, jump in the comments if you do have another play. I probably missed a couple of y'all in y'all's bets, so let me make sure I get to those. We got Poole, we got Cade, and that is the Atlanta game, and KP in that OKC game. So I do want to look at that OKC game. Let me just do the Atlanta game real quick. We got Rui in here. I actually had him for an under yesterday, but that looks fire. Rui over 13.5 points. Lakers money line. I think he's at 14.5 now, so that's probably a good look. Let me look at Cade right now, G Money, and then 80 over 2.5 assists. LeBron over 7.5 assists. The LeBron, both those dudes scare me, bro. They might not play the fourth quarter. The blowout stuff is what scares me for those two. Like, they are primo dudes to not play very many minutes on the back-to-back if they get if they don't have the minutes. Now, if this is not a blowout and LeBron is playing in the fourth quarter, assists for LeBron are a great bet with D'Lo, right? Because D'Lo plays off ball when LeBron's in game. He plays on ball more when LeBron is out of the game. And we want D'Lo on ball for taking his assists. So I like that. Yes, sir. We did go under with Jay Allen, and Giddey might be a good under 17.5 points. That's high for him, especially if SGA and J-Dub are back, which if anybody has info on them when they come back in and out, let me know. I do want to know that stuff. What's Kevin Ollie? What did Kevin Ollie say? All right, whatever. So we got nothing still, at least on Underdog Fantasy, which is usually the most up to date, bro. So let's keep it moving with a couple other things here. I'm going to look at Cade right quick for you guys. So let's get Cade up and go over here. This prop is dumb high for Cade when you look at his points. And I do think there's going to be points in this game. We also don't know if Cade's going to be playing officially, right? Like, he's still questionable. So if anybody gets news on Cade, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that we don't have definitive information on whether or not he's playing. If we look at Cade rebounds and assists, 11.5, yeah, that's not as bad. I mean, the points are mad high, but the rebounds and assists could be a good look here. The thing with Cade and his points and why it's so high, if you do look at Props Madness real quick, and you go to that Detroit-Atlanta game, and you pull up Cade, if we look at the rebounds and assists, not the points, let's look at points real quick so you can see what I mean. And points, like, this is the opponent defense that he's going up against in Atlanta. They're pretty good at stopping the mid-range stuff, but if he gets into the paint where he shoots a ton of his shots, right, then you're looking at a pretty good number here for Cade. If you look at his player stuff, he's shooting 28% of his shots, just all mid-range stuff, and then down low, a couple from above the break as well. It is tailor-made for him to score on this squad, though. So, like, the points are really high for a reason. I think that's too high, to be honest. If we look at Cade points real quick, and we needing him to get 26. Now, he's gone off for sure against good defense, bad defense, bad defense. I would call Memphis bad at this point. In the last three, those field goal attempts are at 20. In the last three, they're super high. So I guess it makes sense that the points would be that high, but we lost any value on the points. I know you're talking about the assists and the rebounds. Let me look at the potentials and all that real quick. Potentials at 13.7 against in the last 10 here, and a couple outliers, not very many against Minnesota, and then Memphis and Washington, looking at 8 and 7. What are the assists at for him alone? 7.5 assists, rebounds at 4.5. That does put you at 11.5. I don't have as much there because of how bad this Atlanta defense is, to be honest with you. This is just the assist. The assist that they give up, let me look at that stuff on Courtside Pal and see if that helps us for a minute. Make sure we're using this right. Gonna pull up Courtside Pal and pull up Cade. Come on, man. Cade Cunningham. Go. Change up this music too. All right, we got Cade looking at his assists, playmaker. Atlanta gives up so much everything, bro. Rebounds for his rebounding. Atlanta's a much better rebounding team than they are pretty much anything else. The assists would make me feel real good, to be honest. They're 4.5. That's crazy. Oh, no, it's 7.5. I'm stupid, bro. The rebounds are 4.5. The rebounding prop, yeah, they're much better than that. Like, the assists by themselves might be a decent play. The last time he played this squad on the 18th, he had 7 with just 10 potential assists. I think that was a blowout. This is also where Props Madness comes into play, because I can look at the last time that they played Atlanta. How do I filter that? I need to go back. All right, see, I still need to get better at this site. But the last time that they played Atlanta, we can look at it right here. He only had the let me see what the score of that game was. Pistons versus Hawks last game. It was actually pretty close. I think Cade had hella points in that one too. 43. Yeah, that was where he went off in that overtime game. Cade had 43. That's why all of this stuff was a little bit less, right? And that's also why his prop is so stupid high in this one. The field goal attempts against this team last game, 24 shots that he put up against them when he put up those points. So the points make sense. The points and assists for dude are at 32.5. If we just look at the last 5, he's been doing that. We look at the last 10. Yeah, it's really about this last 5 here. And I don't think there's anybody that is out. Let me just see if anything came up here. No, we got Miles Turner out for the Pacers. I would not be hitting the Pacers just because they smacked the Nets the other day. By the way, y'all, we got Cam Johnson back. This is a weird, wonky game. Like, I would not be surprised if the Nets win this outright, much less cover this thing. So careful with that. Let's look at. I mean, point guard assists are going to be hella high against the Hawks here. It's not that bad, but Cade's not your typical point guard. That's why we love the courtside pal stuff that shows us that his playmaking type. He's playing in a little bit more than most point guards. Cade over on assists for plus money isn't a terrible bet, but I don't know if I don't have the value or the edge right here. The plus 122 is silly though. That's a pretty good edge, honestly, for that. I think it's a pass for me, bro. I don't hate it. If we look at the first quarter for Cade real quick, let me just see or something for Cade. If we just look at, let me go to players and I'll just do traditional. I'll just filter it for the Detroit Pistons real quick. And just get stats. And I'm going to change it to the first quarter here on NBA Advanced Stats so I can just see how he does in the first quarter. And look at that for Cade. On the season, he's at 2.2 assists. That gets you over. I mean, gets you at the 2+ right here. I don't hate that. I know that was a call earlier. I believe it was Sam Marshall was talking about that. The stuff here in the last, let's do the last 10 for Cade because he's had a few bad games, but he's at 3 assists in the first quarter. Is that what we're looking at? That might be a pretty good find with the way that we like these assists for Cade. And a first quarter bet, which is not something I have done too much yet on the show here, might not be a bad play. Let me go my bad player assists. And we go down to alt assists. We get first quarter. He's got to get 3. That's why it's plus 140. 2+ in the first quarter is minus 215. That's dog crap. The over 2.5. Can I do first? Yes, my bad. I can just do it on props.cash. First quarter assists. We're actually getting plus 140. Can I look at assist first quarter bet here? It's all good. If we look at the first quarter, 2.5. Oh yeah, this is showing me the first quarter stuffs, right? This is not just showing me all game. I got to imagine. Yeah, okay, because it's 8.8 minutes. So in 8 minutes, he's gone over this number a good amount. 6 of his last 10, and 3 out of the last 5. Playing against this Hawks squad, it's tough on the first quarter alone, man. Like it's a little bit tougher. The 2.5 is probably a little bit high where I lose an edge, even at plus 140, which is definitely good juice and worth a gander. But it's gonna be a pass for me on the Cade assist just because I don't have enough data to back myself up. Take that for data. So I'm gonna pass on Cade real quick. We got a couple other things in this game. We got Free Sauce talking about the Capella double-double. We can look at that real quick. Yeah, Cade under rebounds and assists. That's scary though. I forgot that's what you were talking about. Who was talking about that a minute ago? Oh, you did mean over. My bad. Okay, you meant over G Money. Yeah, the rebounds and assists is not a terrible look over for the whole game. Like I might consider that as well when we just looked at what we did with the potentials. The rebounds for him, that's the only thing that scares me once you get Jalen Duren in there. If we go to players and we do tracking for Cade right quick and we go to rebounding. We got this on the last 10 games still. Let me pull and we got it on the Pistons. All right, perfect. So last 10 games for Cade, rebound chances. Yeah, he's all the way down here. 8.3, getting 5 boards. So that means he would need 7 assists if he got the rebounds, which the rebounds are a little bit, that's the scary part of the bet for me with Cade. That's why I was considering points and assists for him. I don't think it's a terrible bet at all. I think you still get decent money right on the rebounds and assists for the game. If you look at full RA over 11.5, no, you don't really get plus money on it. So there's not an edge for me to take that one. Just for the record on the rebounds and assists for Cade in this game, I would need a bigger edge than that. So I'm gonna pass on Cade. I'm gonna go to that game here with the Boston Celtics and Oklahoma City, knowing full damn well that I still don't have all what I need to know. Giannis might just end the Memphis Grizzlies franchise tonight. We'll see how he's feeling with how pissed off he should be. We'll look at another live bet for Giannis, but let's keep it to this OKC Boston game, and we can get out of here on this. We got people talking about KP. We had first quarter points in here. For the game, it's at 19.5. In the first quarter, it's at 5.5. And he has been a dude to get his in the first quarter. I think that's always a good look. Same with CJ, by the way, McCollum, which has gotten dumb high, but he still hit it last game when we thought it was dumb high at like 6.5 or whatever it was. And he still hit that number. For KP in the first quarter, like coming out strong, I can see that. I think Chet's good to go, which is good for this OKC team. I would not give them a shot. But I think they cover, by the way. That is a bet that I am probably going to play. Do we get any update on that spread here for OKC Boston? Where am I going? Here we go. My bad. Okay. Damn. So somebody was probably reported out, right? I don't know if y'all have any of that info, but it looks like someone was probably... No, I appreciate you, bro. We want to hear about Schroeder and Scoot in this one. Yeah, I can look at them real quick. Under PRA, I'll look at them. We'll close with that. But if I need to know right now if somebody for the Thunder just got ruled in or out. Jaylen Brown is available to play, so that might be a part of why that spread went up. But it was at 9. So do we? Yeah, I don't know if anybody has anything on that for the Oklahoma stuff. Let me know. Yeah, for sure. I also like the idea of they're both out, J-Dub and SGA. That's obvious. That's got to be obvious. Yeah, and that's the only reason that you probably have this Giddy prop at 17.5 points. So that makes sense. Damn. All right. I really was like, if it's going to stay at 8.5 with both those dudes in, which it wasn't. Plus, I was really close to hitting +9 yesterday or this morning. So that's tough. There was some value to be had if both of them ended up in. But now that might be over in a hurry. 12.5 points makes sense. Let's go back to this OKC game real quick. So now we've got Kristaps. I can't believe that that Chet is still going to play. But I guess, yeah, they've been playing him on back-to-backs anyway. Giddy, I have at 16.5 here. It's probably 17.5. It just hasn't caught up. So, yeah, you got to take 17.5 probably for most books for Giddy. Under is a good play. It's -140 on the under 17.5 against this Boston squad, especially if this is a blowout. Then, yeah, you don't know how many minutes Giddy's going to play at that point, but I wouldn't bank on it being too high. I think the under for Giddy is a good play. I almost want to just blindly freaking hit that, to be honest. The assists, you're not getting dimes against this squad. I think under 23.5 points in assists for Giddy is also a good play. That was a really good play last night against Philly, and Boston's defense is better than Philly's defense at this point. Let me put up Giddy real quick and see how he does here in his profile against this Boston squad. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be terrible. Nobody does well against Boston, right? Points against this Boston team in the bottom 6 or 5 or whatever that is. Worst in terms of scoring, playmaking. One of the fewest teams. Yeah, fewest assists, rebounds. Rebounds are a thing I don't want to mess with. Rebounds and his rebound prop. Yeah, 11th. Yeah, rebounds are a hustle stat for Giddy. Giddy's a real gym rat, a real Wes Welker type, if you will. So I'm going to go under for Giddy. I'm going to stay away from the rebounds because he's a hustler and a grinder and a real weight room guy or whatever we call an athletic white guys these days. Let me put Giddy in here and take his under. I like that for half a unit. Giddy under 23.5 PA. We're going to take that for minus. Still cracking myself up. Wes Welker type. Giddy under 20. Oh, I got to take 20. Yeah, I can get 24.5 for -125 at MGM. I love that. Let's take under 24.5 PA for our boy. We can get that for, did I say -1? I'm going to have to look this up when I put it down. The final bets that I'm playing will be in the description of the video that'll be posted on YouTube. Make sure y'all check that out so you know exactly what we're playing. I'm going under 23. This is on MGM 4.5 units. All right, that's good value with the 24.5 PA that I get there for under for Joshua Giddey. So we're going to take the under there. Let me keep it rolling here. Good. Yeah, great locker room guy. Big character guy. Love that. Giddey's 17 on Prize Picks. Yeah, good luck. You can get 17.5 in one of them, so that's dope. Jaylen Brown being in. I do like Jaylen Brown because of how bad this Thunder down low is, right? Like if you look at the stuff for Jaylen Brown, like he's gonna be the dude going to the bucket. He's spurned me a couple times, bro. So yeah, for sure. We hit Jay Poole. He's floating on the bottom there. to one franchise. If you look at what we have scrolling on the bottom, those are the updated bets. I should have him in there. Yes, real lunch pail guy, Wes Welker type, invited to the cookout. Was Wes Welker invited to the cookout? I guess so. I don't know. We'll see. I thought he might have been a little Trumpian, but Jaylen Brown, PA over. Let me not get into politics on this live stream. What am I doing? Jaylen Brown, PA. Let me look at that while we're in this Boston game right quick. All right, Jaylen Brown. We are wild in today on this live stream. That's crazy high, bro. No, you're not going to get me to take a points and assists prop for Jaylen Brown, 24.5. I mean, I know he's gone over this in hella games. That's terrifying. I do see what we might see about taking an over for JB. Let me go to the Boston game on Prop Madness real quick and show you Jaylen Brown stuff. Once again, the reason I'm using Prop Madness and not Props.cash sometimes is because Props Madness is going to show me a little bit more about each game, right? I can see the minutes. I can see the final score of the game, or at least that they won by 14 here. I can see how much they won by. I can see the minutes. I can see the free throw attempts all in one spot right there, as you can see it on the screen. So I love this for that. I also love Props Madness when I'm talking about opponent defense play type and their opponent field goals and where they're giving up shots from. So I'm currently clicked on opponent defense right here, and I'm looking at where they're good and bad. So orange and red are going to be they're good against this, whatever we want to call this. Light orange is going to be a little bit middle of the pack, and then the greens are going to mean that they're bad and they give up a lot, and the green means you should bet on this player, right? So if we look at where Jaylen Brown's scoring from, down low, they actually have been a little bit better around the rim. They're giving up more rebounds than anything, for real. Let's put Jaylen Brown in here on Courtside Pal real quick and see what we got. Jaylen Brown and see what we got against this Thunder team, which, to be honest, the other thing is Jalen Williams is out, and J-Dub is definitely their best defender and dude who would be guarding either Tatum or Jaylen Brown, depending on the matchups on the floor. But for JB and his shooting, OKC is pretty good, and they're even better against his scoring, right? They limit his scoring. They limit where he shoots from as well. If we look at the assists, I don't really mess with his assists, to be honest, but they're also good at limiting that to his player profile. The rebounds are where you can get them, right? OKC gives with the fourth most rebounds to JB's rebound profile. For y'all who aren't familiar, as I always say, Courtside Pal, really good spot for this player profile and how he plays rather than just, what his position is labeled as. If I go over to advanced stats and I look at Jaylen Brown and I go to his rebounds, let me look at I'll just do the last 10 games. We'll be looking at rebounding for him. KP getting the bulk of them. Jason Tatum getting the bulk of them. Jaylen Brown, about 9 rebound chances, 5 boards. What's his rebounds at? 5.5. F out of here, dog. F out of here with 5.5 rebounds for Jaylen Brown at 9 rebounds. Get out. And it's minus 106 for the under. Like, I understand that he can get boards against this team. But he's gotten 6 twice and won once. Like, what the hell are we talking about? With under minus 106, that's pretty good value, dog. Under 5.5 on Caesars claims to currently be plus 108. What? Yes, I want that. That's crazy. I mean, let's call him a small forward, right? Rebounds against OKC. I mean, everybody can get rebounds against OKC. But if you look at his position as a small forward, where he's playing on the floor that way, I mean, not very good, right? I mean, this is going to be a little bit less accurate, in my opinion, than Courtside Pal. But Jaylen Brown under for plus money. Am I crazy? Like, no, that's a great bet. Even with the assists, that's only 2.5. That's not a bad look, actually. That's why it's minus 160. Needing 3 assists on, let's see, potentials against this team. He's had 7, needs 3. That's a pretty good percentage, but not for minus 160. That's not the edge that I want. I want this rebounding edge of minus. If I get plus money for under 5.5, I got to take that for a little bit. Like, I know that rebounds are a little bit more of a crapshoot than anything. But even over the last 10, we're talking about needing 6 boards on 10 rebound chances, which is not something he's been doing. The rebounds in general over the last 10, yeah, I mean, getting 6, he's done half the time, it looks like. On the season, exactly 50%. Against a bad rebounding team, I'm kind of losing my edge. But for the plus money, I feel like I'm getting a pretty good edge. The missed shots might be there. Am I going to look stupid for taking? Because I know that this team is a bad rebounding team. So that is a little bit questionable. But I think for plus money, I got to take a little bit on Jaylen Brown under 5.5 boards. So I'm going to add him to the card right now. But I'm only going to be putting 0.2 units on that. I just don't want to question myself. Jay Brown. I'll just put Jaylen Brown because I got the space. We're going under 5.5 revs for plus, what did I just say there? Plus 108 on Caesar. I'm going to put 0.2 units on it to say that I did because I can't avoid a bet on that entirely. All right. The KP in the first quarter points, y'all don't really, the first quarter points I need to see like pretty consistently. It's not something that like I can feel like I can depend on a ton. If we look at KP once again, I think I kind of strayed away from this on purpose because I was not feeling it. 5.5 means he needs to take, needs to hit 3 shots essentially, right? Obviously he can hit 2 threes, but if we look at his field goals attempted, 5 field goal attempts, and 2 of those coming from deep. So he hits 1 3, and we still need 2 more shots made from him to get over this number, which means that he would need to go, let's say he goes 1 for 2 from 3, which is still really high. Right now we're talking about 3 shots left to make 2 of them, which is not bad. His field goal percentage on 2s is probably closer to 68, 70%. So that makes sense. But we need him to hit a 3 at that point, which is just like might as well take over. Oh my God, minus 120. Are you crazy? That's crazy. There's no value to that. Minus 120 for him to hit a 3 in the first quarter, taking 2 of them. We need him to go 50% from deep in 1 quarter for minus 120. Get out of here. Never in a day would I even look at that. So we're off of that. If we want to talk about the points, I can dig it a little bit more, but still what we're saying is he either needs to go 3 for 5 from the field, or he needs to go 1 for 2 from 3. And I don't really want to bank on that for the overall. If we look at the points themselves, or even the boards for our dude, not in the first quarter though, for the full game, like you're always going to see that this squad here against centers for the Thunder, they give up the 5th most rebounds to centers on the season. This is something that they do pretty consistently, and it is probably a pretty good over as well. You might want to see that. Let me see if there's anything else that I had in here. I know we had somebody else in here a minute ago talking about the stuff with Quiet Money. Will was talking about D. Schroeder and Henderson. I didn't really want to bet on the Pacers and the Nets. I hate to jip you on that one, my guy, but I got a dip. I do have a bit more work to do on this Discord, which is coming. I'm going to keep reminding you all about it because I did say at the end of this week I was going to try to get it. So you're talking about Trey Murphy. That's so fire. I love that story, bro. That's a great find on Trey Murphy. And I have been following his boards for sure. There's been a couple wagons out there like y'all keep talking about. So hopefully y'all helped yourself as well. Because the props up, Matt. You're welcome, bro. That's what this stream is about, is finding good information. That's why I appreciate everybody in this stream. We are all, well, some of us and more people more so than me are intelligent people with a lot of good looks. So like, I love sharing the information that we have here. I am going to dip now so we can get some stuff done. Back tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Also going to have the video out tonight, projections, everything that y'all need to know. Going to be putting more work in that Discord so we can get it ready for the playoffs, which we're going to get done so we can keep getting these bets after this show ends each day. Appreciate everybody. Subscribe to that page. It does go a long way, and jump into those the comments as well if you would. Give them videos a like, all of that. Gonna have the final bets posted to the comments right now. Pinned comment here in a minute on the video on YouTube, so check that one out. See y'all tomorrow, and until then, happy betting.